So today we're going to be talking about plant biology, or more specifically, the hormones that are found in plants. And plant hormones, just like human hormones, act in similar ways. These plant hormones are going to help the plants grow and develop, age, mature. They're going to help them and protect them. And if one is out of whack, then that affects a whole host of different things in the plant, just like it affects multiple things in the human body. So, we're going to be talking about the first 5 major hormones in plants. Now, these are in no particular order. One is not greater than any other one. It's just the way I wrote them. Okay, so we have auxins, gibberellins, cytokinins, ascorbic acid, or in short, ABA. And then we have ethylene, and the form of ethylene that we are going to be talking about is ethylene gas. So I'm going to go ahead and write that for you guys so you can have it as a reference. Okay, so let's dive right in. The first one we're going to be talking about is auxins. And auxins are found in young plants, more specifically in the shoot apical meristem, or SAM or SAM for short. And now all that means is they're going to create new plant organs like leaves, flowers, and fruits. Those are just the things that they're making at this section of the plant. And auxin has effects on a wide variety of materials inside of the plants. It helps with growth and development, and it promotes root and fruit growth while preventing the loss of leaves and fruits. Now, this is important because if you're looking at a plant and all of its leaves are gone, then it's not going to fare very well in the environment. It's not going to be able to grow and mature and develop. And that's what auxin is trying to prevent. And oddly enough, it also stops axillary bud growth. And now all an axillary bud is, it comes up between the axil and the leaf. And that's sort of like if you're looking at the plant and two branches or whatnot intersect. Well, right almost in between that intersection is where this axillary bud is going to pop up. And that's going to turn into branches or flower clusters, things like that. Well, these auxins go in and stop that process. And I look at it sort of like how gardeners prune back their plants. They don't want them to be overgrown because their plant isn't going to do too well if they have too many branches or leaves or flowers. It's just like this plant is fighting with itself to get nutrients everywhere. So that's another way that the auxins help the growth and development of plants. And have you ever gardened or looked into your yard and noticed that some of the plants might be bending toward the sunlight if they're in a shaded area? Well, this is all because of the auxins. And the auxins are rushing over to the shady side of the plant. And this causes hydrogen ions to go out of the cells that the auxin moves toward. And the cell walls loosen because of this. Turgor pressure increases because as hydrogen moves out of the cell, water rushes into the cell. So then the cell enlarges and the stem bends toward the light. And that's what we're finding in auxins. But what you have to remember, first and foremost, most importantly, is that auxins are all about growth and development. So that is the most important thing to take away. Now we're going to talk about gibberellins. And like auxins, they do promote growth, but we're talking specifically about causing stem elongation, which basically makes the plant taller. And when we look at gibberellic acid, this is something that planters, gardeners, farmers, people in general might find and put on their buds, cuttings, seedlings, seeds to promote activity. And that's because this gibberellic acid goes on and it starts to break the buds and seeds out of this dormant phase that they're in. And it just promotes activity. And that's really important because gibberellin improves or promotes growth, and this improves or increases activity. I'm going to say, yeah, activity. I was going to shorten it, but figure I'll write it all out. So that is an important part. It's just it's increasing, promoting activity. So moving on to ascorbic acid, or ABA, this is produced in all green tissues, and that's all tissues that contain chloroplast. That gives it its nice green color. The most important thing here is the fact that it's the stress hormone of the plants. Just like people have cortisol in their body, ABA is the stress hormone for plants. And when the stress level gets too high, it puts the seeds back into dormancy. And this is the exact opposite of what we want. This is the exact opposite of what that gibberellic or acid or gibberellin is trying to promote. It wants to promote activity. Well, this decreases activity. And I'm going to just put ACT for short. But that's what it's doing. Because think about it, if it's not in its optimal environment, well, it's just not going to want to grow. Okay, and it also closes the stomata. And all the stomata is a opening on the plant for gas exchange. And gas exchange is just like photosynthesis because that's what they're doing, right? Exchanging the carbon dioxide or exchanging oxygen for carbon dioxide, vice versa. The plant takes in carbon dioxide, releases oxygen. So this happens at the stomata, and that's important for the health of the plant, for the health of people too. Now, ethylene gas. This is what ripens fruits, and that's the main important message here is the ripening of fruits. When these flowers or leaves or fruits become mature, they drop off the original plant. I put mother plant, but it's just all these enzymes that tell or signal to the fruits that they are ripe and they are ready to fall to make way for new fruits and leaves and flowers. So what happens during ripening? Well, enzymes such as cellulase soften the fruits or flowers or whatnots, and that makes them more attractive smelling and just looks more pretty because most fruits or flowers we see are brightly colored. Just makes them look more attractive. Last but not least, we have cytokinins, and what I really think is going to help you guys with this, learning this, is to know the root word. So cyto means cell, kinins, I'm saying loosely means repair, because kinins in depth means a response to damaged tissues within a, a plant. So I take that and I say, oh, well, they're repairing that. So where are we going to find this? Or what does cytokinins do? It promotes cell division, and it's found in dividing tissues of things like roots, seeds, and fruits. And it also has anti-aging properties. It prevents senescence, which is aging. So that's really cool. And there's been a lot of studies done on cytokinins. and their anti-aging properties. So to go back over, we have the 5 hormones: auxins, gibberellins, cytokinins, ABA, and ethylene gas.